do have some form coming into this game. 3 of their last 4 losses have been by 2, 5 and 2. We're underway for Sunday afternoon footy. Here's Jess Webster.
And both Rowbottom and Tiny White starting in the middle for their respective sides. Tilly Lucas-Rod gets the first clearance for St Kilda. And she follows up her work and tries to bustle through a pack, but is brought to ground by Stanton and forces a stoppage. So expecting a pretty fierce, tight, contested game, Emma?
Yep, that's the bread and butter of Gold Coast. I love to pressure sides, so it'll be an interesting contest today.
Number 1 in the competition for hit-outs and hit-outs to advantage and clearances, Gold Coast, and St Kilda are last in those 2 categories. So they've got some work this afternoon, but done well so far, and we've got another ball up.
So at half forward, we can't point out enough how fortunate we are to not have wind here at Trevor Barker Oval. It can be a very windy footy ground, but conditions are spot on, as Bryony said. There's Lucas Rod, who's been busy early. Good kick to half forward. Greaser out on the lead, couldn't mark. Now can turn around and handball. Lucas Rod's followed up. Still kept that one just inside the field of play. Picked up. And the Suns are in all sorts of trouble. As soon as they took possession, St Kilda have pounced, and that's the effort that we've been talking about early. And they are on tired legs, but they can bring effort.
Yeah, and great start by Lucas Rod. She's, played out of position the whole year, but she just a huge work rate, and she's been really, really good value for the Saints this year.
There's Charlie Rowbottom as they rebound out of defence.
But it's going to come back their way as Kat Phillips takes the intercepting mark. She can pump St Kilda back inside the arc. Looking for Shearlaw in front position. Good defensive work by Sard, and then follows up and lays a tackle against Lucas Rod. We've got another stoppage inside 50. As you mentioned, Emma, Lucas Rod, 19 disposals she's averaging this year, and 10 contested possessions and 6 tackles as well. She's had a superb year for her side. So the Suns try to clear it in defence, but St Kilda have done well just to keep the ball alive inside forward 50. Hannah Priest laying a tackle against Sermon. The ball milling around in there. Eventually, the umpire calls for another ball up.
Pack of players around this ball. Watt couldn't tap it to advantage. Drennan cuts through the traffic and kicks it towards the top of 50. No mark taken by Kate Sermon for the Suns. There's McCarthy in the long sleeves. She's easy to pick out. Was bumped off the ball. Now Perkins arrives and tries to keep it moving for the Suns, who are just doing this the old-fashioned way, just constantly moving the ball forward. Umpire calls for it in the middle of the ground. And the Suns coming off the draw that we spoke about against the Western Bulldogs, but the Thursday prior had a pretty tough night at the office against Brisbane at Metricon Stadium, beaten by 69 points. That one stung. They'll be looking to get back on the winners list today. Nice pick up by Vesley, kicks it deep. Shearlaw the target, tapped it to her advantage. Great opportunity now for St Kilda, who have got an extra around the ball. The Suns can force another stoppage.
And good to see Vesley get her hands on it early. She's had her troubles with injury, but she's a young gun for St Kilda.
Back into the side this week, Vesley. Quick clearing kick is intercepted by Phillips. She wants to move it quickly. Just pokes it into the path of Shearlaw, but dropping back is Lauren Bella. So St Kilda's pressure has been good early. They've kept the ball in their forward half for the majority of this opening term. Molly McDonald. Kick to the top of the square. Zenos around the corner. And the Saints draw first blood.
Well, and that's just really good reward for effort. They've pressured really well, St Kilda, been able to lock it in their front half really well. Molly McDonald's year on the wing, she's really crucial as that link-up player. And then they call her the X-Factor, Nick Zenos. She's got a real knack of kicking those goals. So, yeah, really good start by St Kilda.
She was the X-Factor on Wednesday. 2 goals and kept them in the game against the Giants. Both of those goals coming at crucial times. Inside 50s so far. Ems 3-0 in favour of the Saints.
Yeah, they're just winning at the contest, which is, you know, what Gold Coast usually do well.
Lauren Ballard leads the competition in hit-outs. As Jess mentioned, those hit-outs to advantage numbers are largely because of her. St Kilda play it down in the middle as Yorston spirals a ball to half forward. Groves Little picks up, works back. Yorston's followed up. Too far out to score. And that should be paid a mark to the Saints, and it is to the skipper Priest. Wants to play the outer side of the ground. Strong grab taken. Greaser has worked up to the wing. The Saints have started this game well.
Looks like Ree Watts in the hands of the trainers in the middle of the ground. We'll have to get Bryony to keep an eye on that one. And it's going to be a lasso free kick going the way of Gold Coast Suns. And so just take a look at the replay. Potentially a twist of the knee, do we think?
Yeah, it looked like it.
Sard kicks long down the wing. Priest is there for the Saints. Tracks it towards the line for a boundary throw-in.
And we do hope that Ree Watt is okay, because it will hurt St Kilda structurally. She's their sole ruck this game, so it will mean that they'll probably have to throw Sheila in the ruck, which then affects their forward structure.
Ree Watt just hobbling to the bench right near us as Sheila back on. Sard mops up at half back, as she so often does. The #1 intercept player for the Suns this year in her first season, crossing over from the Kangaroos. The corridor's available, but that kick not ideal. And Tani White marks at centre half forward. The Suns have got an extra number behind the ball. White drives long, kicks to a 2-on-1. That should be a push in the back against Jess Mayton. Gold Coast free kick. Let's get boundary side to Bryony Dawson.
Yeah, it looks like she's hurt her left knee. She came off the ground really, really slowly. She's in the hands of the trainers at the moment. They're just running through a few tests, and I'll keep you updated.
So Ree Watt just getting assessed by the trainers down at ground level. And we hope it's not too serious. Gold Coast with a patient build-up out of defence. Bohanna in front. Good work by Lucy Burke out the back. But we'll have another boundary throw-in, and Saints have started this one early, started this one really well. Tilly Lucas Rod up to 4 disposals already and a couple of clearances as well. So the Suns have only gone inside 50 just the once. Drennan picks up, tries to bustle her way through. She's going absolutely nowhere, and the Saints yet again force another 50-50 contest.
And what are the discussions going on inside the St Kilda coach's box right now? You start the game with a plan, and that's for Ree Watt to be the sole ruck. Kate Sheila to play forward. How do they adjust now?
Yeah, I suppose it's probably just throwing things around. Like, they've got someone like Ella Friend, who has played a bit down back, but she has the ability to go up forward as well. As
Bohanna kicks to the goal square, St Kilda get back and force through a rush behind.
So sometimes it's about just going for a smaller forward line, potentially emptying it out, getting the goals out the back. You know, someone like Nick Xenos, who's got speed to burn, is definitely an option.
Jacobson brings the ball back in for the Saints. Whitford's in there, dishes it off to Hampson. Kick around the corner, Perkins in front position, couldn't complete the mark. Applies the pressure, Hampson dives in. She couldn't bring it down, and we've got to throw an inside forward 50 for the Suns. So we see a Gold Coast player down as well. It's Hampson. Bit of friendly fire with the turf.
Bit winded, I'd imagine.
Yeah, still in her hands and knees. Close to this contest. We'll keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, Sermon gets it out to Whitford. Her kick straight back to Sermon, who was still lying on the ground. As you can see there, Sermon just having a chat to the... Hampson, rather, having a chat to the trainers. She looks like she's getting to her feet now.
Midway through this opening quarter. Drennan around the ball for the Suns. Leads them in disposals this season. Had 30 against Geelong a couple of weeks ago. We'll give her another one there. The follow-up is strong. Single. Steps inside. Her kick was smothered. And then a quick holding the ball paid against Shannon Dankert. And that free kick will be coming back. It'll go to Kat Phillips. And Nicola Zenos comes off the ground. Ash Richards back on. St Kilda play out this side. Tony White had to mark and does. Wants to use the corridor. They've been trying to use the corridor more in recent weeks, the Saints, and this is looking good for them. Kick from Phillips over the top for Shearlaw, who gets the bounce that she was after and lopes inside 50. Runs a long way, has a shot, kicks a ripper.
Run too far.
That was the risk. A late whistle from the umpire. She just forgot to put the footy back on the ground.
Come on, just let it play.
Everything else was superb.
What will she think about that, Emma?
Oh, she'll talk to me about it later tonight, that's for sure.
Oh no, and the Suns have coughed it up here coming out of defence. Nat Exon's picked it off and she's going to have a shot on goal. So Nat Exon, she's back in the side this week as well. One of 2 inclusions for the Saints. Hasn't kicked a goal yet in season 2022. But Exon makes no mistake this time. The Saints have got 2 on the board.
Oh, that's great for Nat Exon. She's, again, like Vesely, she's had her trouble with injuries this year. She's such an important player for St Kilda, both as a, in and under midfielder, but also then her ability to go forward and, her positioning here, there was no outlets really, and I mean, a bit of a skill error there by Ahrens, but yeah, positioned herself well to get that.
Had a serious shoulder injury for most of last year, Nat Exon, unfortunately. Back into the team today, only her 3rd game of the season. Was runner-up in St Kilda's Best and Fairest in their first year in the NAB AFLW competition, and the Saints are away to a good start at Trevor Barker Oval. And so far, albeit early in the game, but they've done a fairly good job of keeping Charlie Rowbottom quiet. Just the 1 disposal so far. There she is around the ball. Whitford tackled.
Yeah, and it looks like Jackie Vought's got the role on her. She's that bigger sort of body, so can match Rowbottom around the ground.
Let's get boundary side to Bryony Dawson.
Guys, Ree Watt has gone into the change rooms. She was walking around. She had the knee strapped. The ice definitely wasn't out, but yeah, she's gone into the room, so we'll keep you updated.
That's not good news for the Saints to be a rotation down. Vesely got a quick kick on. Now the Gold Coast drive to centre half forward. Dupay playing from behind. Got it to ground level, but all St Kilda at the fall. Again, they played direct footy and used that corridor. Midway through this opening quarter. That kick missing the target. First one back for St Kilda is Alice Burke. She got help from Priest, who was taken a little high, and that free kick will go against Shannon Dankert.
Oh, nice kick into the corridor, finds Shearlaw. This is what the Saints want to do. Releases Kate McCarthy. Drills a ball inside 50. Through the hands of Richards. Howarth for the Suns. Oh, she's stripped of it, holding the ball. And the Saints again have created another opportunity to have a look at the goals.
And I was just about to say, the Gold Coast defence, considering how many inside 50s, they're actually holding up fairly well. As I was about to say that, though, the pressure of St Kilda has been elite as well and matched in.
So Molly McDonald. This for the dream start for St Kilda. They're on fire at Trevor Barker Beach Oval.
And a really nice build-up to that goal too. Like, Hannah Priest gets a free kick, but then she looks inboard, opens up the ground. Kate McCarthy uses her speed, which is her weapon, and then gets an inside 50. Like, that's what the Saints have been wanting to try to do, and that's the way they want to try to play, and that's where they're at their best.
It's a clear plan, isn't it? Everything as soon as they get the ball wide, they're looking back inside.
Yeah, well, and again, against a team like Gold Coast who are really good in the contest, you want to try to change the angles a little bit so it's not kicking down the line to the contests.
The Saints have brought their tackle pressure as well. They're +9 in tackles inside this first quarter, which is normally Gold Coast's biggest strength. They're the #1 tackling team in the competition, as Jess said. Bouncing ball to half forward. Kate Sermon taken away. Well done by Burke, who again squares up, but unfortunately this time around, the Suns had their structures right behind the ball. Less than 2 minutes to play before quarter time. Gold Coast haven't scored. Stanton loads up and kicks deep. Priest was bumped off the footy by Bohanna. Ball spilled out the back. Hampson was able to get a boot on it. But no meaningful attack on goal by the Suns. Phillips clears out of defence.
Good work by Matten to just throw it on the boot and kick long down the line, but Kalinda Howarth will watch this one trickle out of bounds and get a free kick. The last touch rule. Wants to move it into the corridor, finds Stanton. Has Watson running for her. Goes to her by hand, but she's run into Exxon. It's holding the ball. Great tackling pressure again by the Saints. So Exxon from the centre circle sees something she likes. It's a good kick that finds Richards. Can turn and go. High kick into the pocket. Xenos. It's completed the mark just inside the boundary line. It's a tough angle for her this time. Kick the opening goal of the game. What do you reckon she'll do here, Emma?
It looks like she's going back for a shot, but it's a really tough angle, so...
Well, there's no wind here at the moment, which is good news for everyone. Very still afternoon as Xenos from the pocket will fall to the top of the square. Suns do well to clear it. Yorston to Keeney. Although it goes over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Keeney, the last to touch that. 8th in last year's best and fairest for Gold Coast. Won their most professional award as well. As a siren sounds for quarter time. What a start for the Saints. The big question coming into this game, how would they bounce back from the heartbreak? Well, so far, so good.
For St Kilda is the players have been standing out there for a long time. They're all ready with about a minute to go. Very eager to get this second quarter underway. So it's the Saints with 3 goals straight in that opening term. What can the Suns do to respond? Throwbottom goes off the deck. Kicks a dribbler towards half forward. Jacobson in front of Hampson. Lucas Rod's in there. Vesely has a go. Now White gives it back to Jacobson. Ball still milling around there. Now Hampson has a go for the Suns. Kicks a high one inside 50. Howarth from the back. She might end up with it, Kalinda Howarth. Kicks towards goal, but it's offline. Well and truly out of bounds on the full.
Well, it's a starting point for the Suns. They get the ball up that end of the ground at least. They struggle to maintain it inside their attacking region in that opening quarter. St Kilda have done a lot of things right so far. Priest follows up, receives it centre half back. The run comes up ahead. Tani White ducks back inside, hasn't got a lot of support. Bella first there for the Suns, did well to pick it up, and handball to Stanton. She tumbles up to the wing position. Jacobson quickly gathers and kicks. Only as far though as the Suns. And the mark's been taken by Hannah Dunn.
Oh, beautiful kick into the corridor, finds Sermon. Can the Suns open it up here? They've held it up again. Perkins offering a lead. Sermon opts to go short. It's fisted away by McDonald. Lucas Rod picks it up, gives it back to McDonald. Oh, Greiser's found some space at centre-half forward. Good kick from McDonald, finds her. An open forward 50 for St Kilda, so Greiser just kicks a long one to space. But it will go over the boundary line for a throw-in. And the Saints, Emma, they look dangerous when they're moving the ball and look like Gold Coast are probably giving them a lot more time and space than they probably should. Yeah, and Robbie Joyce summed them up. They do look flat. They're usually a team that's full of energy, but maybe the travel down to Melbourne's caused that bit of fatigue. But yeah, Saints definitely looking lively going forward.
That should have been holding the ball. Umpire said play on. Vesely's kick smothered. Now Jacobson towards the boundary line. Can't keep it in. Next to Tara Bahana. Would there be a temptation to potentially move Bahana up onto the ball for a few minutes, Emma, just to try and get her involved in the game?
Oh, potentially, but Bahana's been so good for Gold Coast up forward, so you don't want to lose your forward structure just for the sake of trying to get someone into the game. I think it just comes down to winning at the contest and then making sure their ball movement's a bit better. Like we saw Kate Sermon had the ball in the middle of the ground as a great kick from Hannah Dunn. Then she was really slow to get it moving, so if she was a bit quicker, it just allows those forwards to get involved in the game. So Hannah Dunn's kicked that one out of bounds on the full as Spectator is doing some good work there along the fence line to retrieve the footy back for us. This is what you don't get in the men's competition, do you? So Friend kicks short to Lucas Rod. Low pass, falls at the feet of Greiser. Coming through Ahrens, did well to give it to Stanton, and now Rowbottom. Kick again, misses its intended target, and McCarthy takes the intercepting mark. Wants to move it quickly. McCarthy goes for a run, kicks looking for Greiser again. Got fingertips to it, couldn't complete the mark. Richards is in there. Looking for Vaught, goes back in. Rowbottom. Lucas Rod's brought to ground. We've got a stoppage inside 50. Lucas Rod, 7 disposals, 4 contested, 4 tackles already, and Tani White up to 6 tackles for the Saints as well. A chance for White, she can't collect. Zenos pushing the back, yes. So Nicola Zenos is going to line up for a second goal. Or we should look to give it off, she will, because as a teammate in space in Alice Burke in the pocket. It's come a long way from her usual defensive post, Alice Burke. Finds herself with footy in hand in the pocket, has not kicked a goal in the AFLW competition. Can she produce something special? It looks pretty good off the boot, touched on the line. So do you think, Emma, Gold Coast, do they need to make any positional changes? Oh, they might have, and they've coughed it up again coming out of defence. We saw this in the first quarter. And it's Kate Shearlaw who's picked it off, and she's going to line up for a shot at goal. I'll come back to you in a moment, Emma, on what Gold Coast need to do, but St Kilda are all over them at the moment. Kate Shearlaw kicked a goal that she was robbed of in the first quarter. Oh, she's not going to let that one slip. What a beautiful strike of the footy from Shearlaw, and St Kilda are all over the Gold Coast Suns. Yeah, they are. They're just running on top of the ground at the moment, St Kilda. You know, I know both teams are coming off a short break. Gold Coast are travelling down as well, so that's probably impacting their ability as well to produce a bit more effort. But yeah, it's the tackle pressure from St Kilda that's been really impressive so far.
Kate Shearlaw gets one back. That one a little more conventional in the first quarter. That never looked like missing. Her second goal of the season.
Don't you love watching footy when there's no wind? Playing footy when there's no wind? Oh. Emma probably still has nightmares from last night.
I was just about to ask you how you felt about that after last night, Em, at Casey Fields. Nice clearance work from Hampson, who's been put into the middle to try and get some things happening. Groves Little went without the football. Still trying, still working, gathers and pushes across the face. Second behind of the game for the Gold Coast Suns. And that's as good as they've looked so far this afternoon in terms of the way that they work around the stoppage.
Yeah, and I don't think, to answer your question, Jess, I don't think it's about changing your personnel around the ball. It's probably just changing a few structures. And, you know, with Rewatt going out, you're probably going to get a lot of dominance in the ruck, particularly Lauren Bella. So it's about probably trying to push St Kilda's mids within the stoppage, and there you go.
So Drennan kicks to the top of the square, a chance for Gold Coast Suns to get their first on the board. Holding the ball, says the umpire, and here's a chance for Gold Coast. It's Tara Bohanna who laid the tackle and has given herself a first opportunity to get the Suns their first goal of the game. Suns desperately need this one. Bohanna directly in front. Drills it. The Suns have their first of the afternoon.
And that's what you want to see from your tall targets down in the forward line is, you know, creating a contest, but then when the ball goes to ground, you know, those second, third efforts is really crucial, and that's what's set up the goal. And, you know, Bohanna's a beautiful set shot for goal, and she slotted that beautifully.
And she knows this area of the world pretty well, Tara Bohanna. The Southern Saints BNF in 2021 kicked 19 goals in her 16 games, third in the VFLW goal kicking, as well as the Southern Saints BNF winner.
Few ex-Saints out there today, actually.
That's one that they might have missed out on, unfortunately, for St Kilda. You can't get them all. Tara Bohanna is playing some really, really good footy. Fifth in the competition for goals coming into this afternoon. Adds another. And the Suns first, one that they desperately needed. Zenos at half forward, ran underneath it. Greiser kicks on the left foot to a one-on-one at the top of the goal square. Nice option. Now the help arrives. Richards darts back around. Her kick was charged down. Now Watson can clear from the defensive area for the Gold Coast Suns. She plays the outer side. Priest couldn't mark. It was fisted out of bounds by Kate Sermon.
So the Saints kicked the first 4 goals of this contest. And the Suns have hit back with their first. Still trailing by 17 points in this second quarter. As Drennan just gets boot to ball. Phillips working hard there for the Saints. Dankert. Oh, coming through well as Exxon. Kicks a wobbler inside 50. Daisy Darcy handballs to Drennan, who gives it to Hampson, who goes back to Darcy, who kept running. Long kick looking for Perkins, goes over her head, and now it's a foot race. It's Perkins against Ott. Did well, gives it to McCarthy. Nice chip, finds Phillips. Has Vesely all alone at centre half back. And now again, as we see the ground open up for St Kilda. Oh, that handball put Vott under pressure. Did well to give it to Exxon, who kicks inside 50. Good contest there. Guttridge follows up. Brought to ground by Drennan. The ball spills out. The umpire's letting it go. White kicks around the corner. Best Keeney there for the Suns. Nice kick outside defence. Finds Bohanna on the wing.
They haven't got a lot of head here, though, the Suns. So Bohanna has to wait. Left foot ball. A little late on the scene there, Kalinda Howarth. Free kick will go to Jacobson. Second in the competition this season for rebound 50s. She's been superb in what's been a challenging year for the Saints. Jacobson pops it up. Bohanna waiting off the pack. Eyes looking inside. Dangerous kick, 50-50 ball. McDonald did well to force it to ground level. And then Exxon kicks deep. And that mark will be paid to Ash Richards, who had first grab. Serene Watson thought that she'd taken the mark. But Richards, from right on her distance, pulls the kick. That's out of bounds on the full. Take another look at Ash Richards' mark. Pick number 12 in last year's draft.
It looks like Ree Watt's done for the day for St Kilda. It's going to be a big loss for Saints. And the ball's going to come back as well. Burke gathers on the wing and gives it to Alice Burke. Has Priest in the middle. He's called to play on and then kicks the other way. Jacobson alone on the wing. Can go for a little stroll and then pump it inside 50 for St Kilda. In front spot, Sard read it well. And kicks out wide looking for Bella. Good defensive pressure by Phillips. And the ball trickles over the line for a boundary throw-in.
St Kilda's ball movement's been really good. They've just been able to shift the lanes a few times, and it looks dangerous going forward. Probably where they're just breaking down somewhat is those entries inside 50. Gold Coast defence is setting up well behind the footy.
Stat that you spoke about at quarter time, Emma Carney, was the tackle numbers. The Suns have lifted in this second quarter. They're +8, which is an improvement. Cam Joyce will be happy with that. Dupay at half forward, can look up ahead. Priest is back there. And that just created enough doubt for Dupay to spray that kick, and it's out of bounds on the full. A goal each in this second quarter. The Saints got the early jump, kicked 3 goals to 0 in this opening term. They've given themselves a nice advantage. Shearlaw on the wing as we tick up to 3 minutes before half-time. Has got the run of McCarthy driving by. Has time for a bounce. Could just about have another one. No one comes at Kate McCarthy. Now the kick important. It was a good one. Didn't blaze away. Look for the best option, and that was Tani White.
And it's great footy. Like, Kate McCarthy plays her best when she is running from behind. So, you know, for her to be taking on the game like that is excellent. And then just to lower the eyes a little bit, it's quite easy just to blaze away in that situation, but to lower the eyes and hit Tani.
She looks for a short option. Tilly Lucas-Rod. He's kicked 1 goal, 2 for the season. She was really the spark. In the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game, it was Tilly Lucas-Rod who found a lot of the ball. Leading disposal winner on the ground with disposal number 11. Kicks deep. That's not over the line yet. And the mark will be paid. On the very last line, Claudia Whitford. Her kick is a good one. Into the back pocket, has single.
Single drives it long to a pack of players. Jacobson and Priest probably needed better communication there. Still might work out for them. Priest hands it to Exxon. Dodges single beautifully, then kicks inside 50. Was dealt with after she kicked it, so it's going to be a downfield free kick. I think it might have been Rowbottom. Not sure, but either way, it's going to be a free kick inside 50, and I think Lucas-Rod has claimed it. No, she has to give it off.
The umpires are smarter than that.
So it looks like Jackie Vott, he's got this one. So for all the hard work that Suns have done to try and get back in this contest in the second quarter, this will be a hammer blow leading into halftime. We've got a good look at this one right behind Jackie Vott. She lets it go. It's going to go right to the line and across for a minor score. Let's quickly get down to the boundary line to Bryony.
Thanks, Jess. Yeah, Ree Watt is out for the day. She, at the top of that second quarter here, she was just warming up and just sort of buckled under the knee again. So, yeah, they've officially retired her for the day.
Not good news for the Saints. 2 games to come after this. They'll play Geelong next weekend in a home game which is scheduled to be played at Moorabbin. All things being equal, with the finishing touches on the Danny Frawley Centre, the Saints will get the chance to play at their spiritual home next week. They'll also play Adelaide before the season's done as well. Bella Nice tap down. No space, though, for Rowbottom. Without having a direct tag on Charlie Rowbottom, they've just made sure that they've been accountable at the stoppages for her. There she is again. Tackled as soon as she takes possession. And has been caught holding the ball.
Jeez, I'm not sure what else she was meant to do there. Tackled us as soon as she got it. It's a bit unlucky.
Last minute before half-time, Exxon was looking for the long lead of Jess Matten, but the Suns had other ideas instead. This kick is okay. Dankert on the end of it.
Plenty of numbers up ahead, so I have to measure this one nicely and does so. Groves Little can wheel around and pump it long. Howarth has a couple to beat. Spills to ground, Friend. Handballs backwards to Lucy Burke. Kicks up to the wing. Out there is Phillips. Tackled over the line by Groves Little. It's only a few seconds to go before half-time. Goal apiece in this second term. It's still St Kilda well on top. Bella palms it down. The siren sounds here to mark half-time at Trevor Barker Beach Oval, and it's been a very good half by the home side, St Kilda. They lead 4-2-26 to Gold Coast 1-2-8. Kate Shearlaw, Molly McDonald, Nat Exxon and Nicola Zenos have the goal.
Wins 3 losses and a draw so far this season. It's St Kilda who have done all of the driving. Can that continue?
Stanton gets the early clearance for the Suns. A promising start to the second half inside 50. Here's Groves Little, can do anything. Kicks it to the top of the square. In the direction of Perkins, through her legs. At the back, Jacobson for the Saints. Although her handball's picked off by Sermon from the pocket, throws it on the boot towards goal. It's a minor score. The Suns have come out hunting in the first few seconds.
They need to. We were just out there during half-time. We said that it was a nice day for footy. It's definitely, from a temperature point of view, has picked up since this game started. Will that be a factor for both teams who have played a lot of footy in a short space of time? Be thrown in the forward pocket. Suns coming off a draw on Tuesday against the Western Bulldogs. Played on the Thursday of last week as well. And lost to the Brisbane Lions for St Kilda. They played on Wednesday. Lost to the Giants by 2 points. And played on the Saturday. We're on the wrong end of a big loss to Carlton. Sermon at ground level. Nice hands. Opens the door for Stanton to kick towards goal. Bouncing ball. Bounces on its point. The Saints can now rush it over.
That bounce can be cruel sometimes. But nice build-up from Gold Coast. They seem to be winning it a lot more on the outside.
Saints try to exit defence. Here's Priest. Wheel around. Kick looking for Vaught. Was held in the marking contest and win herself a free. So it's moved into the ruck after Ree Watt's gone down with a knee injury. Watt kicks out wide to White. Down the line to Greiser. Over the pack, at the back Zenos. Worried out of it. Lucas Rod fires a handball back to Molly McDonald. Is brought to ground and dispossessed and follows up and lays a strong tackle of her own. We've got a boundary throw in right in front of us here in the commentary position broadcast side. You see Lucy Single throwing Molly McDonald to the turf, bounces back up and tackles Sermon. Great effort. So throw in on the wing. Bot palms it down. Coming through, Vesely releases Guttridge. Can kick a long one, it's a one-on-one. Shearlaw in the goal square against Sard. Sard tracks it back in the last line of defence, does really well. Runs out of room though, puts Irons under pressure, gets it back. A rushed kick. Lands into the path of Drennan, who kicks into the corridor and finds Groves Little.
Now the Suns push forward with a bit more momentum. Perkins Works up to the wing. Kicked a goal on Tuesday in the draw against the Bulldogs. Bohanna, too far out to score. Has options inside just at the last minute, saw Yorston. Awkward bouncing ball. Took a while to pick up. She got there, gave off to Bess Keeney. The Saints structured up behind the ball. Jacobson can turn things around pretty quickly. Has Phillips on the outer side.
A kick looking for Richards. Used the body well against Keeney. The ball's backwards to Sheila, who can pop it into the path of Vott, but going back, reading it better was Bella. Sees a free player on the wing in Bohanna. Phillips got back there late. Friend tracks it to the boundary line, keeps it alive. And balls to Priest. Her kick out of bounds on the full, and free kick going to Gold Coast. Have you seen anything different in the opening minutes, Emma?
Yeah, certainly Gold Coast pressure has certainly lifted. They seem like they've got a little bit more energy this quarter. So, yeah, if they can keep lifting, that's going to put them in a better position to score.
Oh, it slipped through the hands of Bohanna, and now the Saints arrives. Phillips gives it off to Alice Burke along that outer side. Kick up towards half forward. Sheila had to turn defender. Sard gives it to Bess Keeney, who was stripped of it by Sheila. Richards, handball looking for Lucas Rod. The Suns went out. Keeney, Drennan, Dankert ran out of room. Vott did really well to apply the pressure and force the turnover to Vesely. A high kick inside, forward 50. Sard again against Sheila and a one-on-one. Sheila gathers, brought to ground, holding the ball. I've loved that duel today.
She's got her hands full at the moment. Viv Sard as Nicola Zenos. Not too happy. As has so often been the case this season for the Suns, Viv Sard on the last line of defence has minimised the damage. They can't get out this time though. Mark taken by Jackie Vott. 15 disposals in their round 7 game. Was very good on that afternoon. Kicks to a pack. Guess who? Viv Sard. Playing at the back of the pack. As Ali Hampson from the Suns has been kind enough to join us mid-game. Ali, thanks for your time. Do you feel like things are starting to turn around in your direction?
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I think, you know, we're lifting our pressure. The Saints are obviously matching us, but I think like times start to go is this quarter. So yeah, we've come out and we're coming hard.
Ali, what was the main message from Joycey coming out of the halftime break?
Oh, just got to like keep playing our identity, keep our values up, and you know stay united with each other, and time to put some pressure on and really go to work, be really relentless throughout the quarter, and you know we just got to go harder for longer.
Ali, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Great access from the Suns. Very grateful for them today.
And you can certainly see that their pressure has lifted, but what has been really impressive is how well they're holding up behind the footy. We've seen Sard in a number of one-on-ones either halve it or win it herself. So, yeah, it's been holding up well.
Biggest challenge for the Suns is if they can't score from this opportunity, at least lock it in. They've had some trouble doing that today. Howard towards the boundary line was tackled. Drennan taken out of bounds. 8 minutes remaining. So we see Rhiannon Watt on the boundary line. Jess, unfortunately her day is done. Fingers crossed it's not a serious knee injury.
Yeah, no doubt we'll get scans during the week to assess the extent of that damage, but we really do hope the best for Rhi Watt. We've seen so many serious knee injuries this year and certainly hope that's not another one. Tani White kicks backwards to Friend. He's done pretty well against Perkins today. That kick, though, intercepted by Rowbottom, who evades the tackle and then kicks it in the Perkins direction. And on cue, Perkins takes the contested grab. Just when you say she's well held, Sarah Perkins has a way of working her way into a match. She's taken a wonderful grab. Haven't seen a goal scored so far in this second half. This to bring the margin back to 10 points. Perkins loves it. And so do the Suns. They're back in this one.
Yeah, and it was just a bit of a missed kick there by St Kilda, but cleaned up by Rowbottom, and then just puts it into a really dangerous spot. Top of the goal square, allows Perkins to use her body well and shift her opponent. So Perkins is never going to miss those. She's a beautiful set shot for goal.
She's pumped. Can see what it means to her. Playing for their finals position today, the Gold Coast Suns. They've kicked the last 2 goals in the game. As Jess said, it's back to a manageable 10-point difference. Vaught doing the ruck work with Sheila off the ground. The Suns win the clearance. Whitford drives it deep. Jacobson able to help them get out. Wants to play the other side. Little up and under kick. The target is Exxon. Nice hands. She takes a good mark and uses the stand rule to her advantage. Kept it low. That kick missed the target in Greiser. Dupay for Gold Coast hugs the boundary line with that kick. It should be okay. Bohanna, little 1-2 is okay. Into the pocket, has Perkins. Marks on her chest. Might just be too far out to score. She's got Howarth inside. That's a good kick. That one, though, from Howarth, unfortunately, not what the Suns were looking for.
A wasted opportunity there by Gold Coast, but Howarth applies the pressure on Priest. All on the wing, Matten emerges with it. Kicks down the line, Guttridge out in front. Has Phillips running for her. Has Greiser short. Xenos further up ahead. Elects to kick into the pocket. It does favour the Gold Coast Suns. Hannah Dunn back there against Xenos, looking for the boundary line and gets it.
She did well to Xenos because Hannah Dunn was in the prime position, but she closed it down quickly and just was able to create a stoppage.
Time and forward half in this third quarter, 66% away. The Gold Coast Suns, they've really worked themselves back in it. Now we've got a live ball inside, forward 50 for the Saints. Lucas Rod is dispossessed. Vesely in there as well. We've got another stoppage.
St Kilda's last goal came at the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. And Kate Shearlaw kicked truly. His hands from Yorston. Dankett's kicking up and under. There's McCarthy, who breaks through with speed. Now kicks to the discipline area. On the lead, Guttridge.
Such a clever kick too, because the Gold Coast defence have been set up so well behind the ball, and she's just kicked it out to space and let the forwards run onto it. And Guttridge, who's a left footer, on the right side for her, kicking this goal.
Hasn't kicked a goal this year, Darcy Guttridge. Steers that left foot home. The Saints get one back and push it back out to 16 points.
And what I've loved about McCarthy's game is she's willing to take the game on and use her speed and carry, and her kicks inside 50 have been really, really good as well. It's so often that, you know, players will look at where their forward is rather than look at the space and kick it into that space. So, yeah, really clever footy by McCarthy.
Just the 5 disposals for Kate McCarthy today, but 4 inside 50s. She's really creating opportunities for her teammates this afternoon. Phillips leading the way for the Saints with 14, Lucas Rod with 13, and for the Suns, Jamie Stanton has 12, and Viv Sard, the second most possessions on the ground for the Suns with 10. Meanwhile, we're back in the middle. Quick kick out of the pack. Phillips will track it. Singles hot on her hammer. Phillips does well. Fires out a handball to Vaught and looking for White. Vaught goes in again. This time brought to ground. Gets boot to ball though. Alice Burke spins out of trouble. Kicks long towards Shearlaw. Good work by Ahrens to fist it down. Bella gives it back to Ahrens. Kicks long Good work by Ott, front position against Perkins. And pushes the ball out of bounds. Right in front of us here in the commentary position. It's the Saints leading it by 16 points as we tick down to three-quarter time.
Sarah Perkins comes off the ground. Kicked one of the 2 goals this quarter. Bella and Vott. Stanton dispossessed as soon as she picked it up. Bella did well at ground level. Whitford pushed in the back. Another former Saint out there today, played 10 games in these colours. First season at the Gold Coast Suns. That's out of bounds.
Yeah,
Less than 3 minutes to play before three-quarter time, sorry.
Yeah, Whitford's starting to lift too for the Gold Coast, getting on top in the centre bounce clearances.
These two teams, in a quirk of the NAB AFLW competition, have never played each other until today. So there's no history to draw on between these two teams. This is going to be a first. Dunn went without it. Over the footy for a while was Richards, but had enough time to gather and search out for Shearlaw on a long lead at half forward. She's got Greiser on her own inside 50. Numbers pushing forward though as well. Vesely couldn't hang on to that one. Lucas Rod wrapped up immediately. Good tackle, and she's going nowhere. And in fact has been caught holding the ball.
Well, as long as they're consistent, that's all you can say. As a go. Yeah, it's a great tackle though.
Rowbottom can't keep it in. So important couple of minutes here as we tick down towards three-quarter time. Gold Coast got within 10 points during that quarter, but that last goal to Guttridge is just giving the Saints some breathing room. Still searching for their first win of the season are the Saints, and the Suns looking to keep their season alive and put pressure on that top 6. Hampson, quick kick around the corner, bounces off the chest of Howarth. Goes back in and collects the footy. Dances around Lucas Rod. Gives it to Groves Little. Has a bounce. Goes for a run. Kicks long towards half forward. In there, Bohanna fighting with it against Priest and Burke. And we've got a ball up. So into the last minute, a chance for Gold Coast to just peg one back and give themselves some confidence leading into the last break. Rowbottom. Kick intercepted by McCarthy. Had a fresh air swing at it. Umpire says play on. Burke. Tackled by Howarth. Coughs it up. High tackle and play on advantage, says the umpire. Running away with it is Vott. Kicks long down the wing. And Richards against Daisy Darcy, and ball trickles over the line.
Feels like they've weathered a bit of a storm, St Kilda.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, Gold Coast really came out firing in that start of this quarter. So to be able to, you know, peg one back as well and get a score on the board is really crucial.
Jamie Stanton was dispossessed. Hampson, who we spoke to just a few moments ago, she's over the ball as well. Darcy, try to be aggressive, try to make something happen. Has given up possession with 20 seconds. The call comes from the bench. Problem is, though, that Richards is over the other side of the ground. She might not have heard that. Saints need a mark. Slips through the fingers of Ahrens. The clock will stop with 7 seconds left. St Kilda looking to add one more in and expand on this 16-point lead. Shearlaw to do the ruck work. He palmed it down a little. Tap forward. Won't be enough. Rowbottom couldn't find a way through. It's the moment of truth for St Kilda. 5-2 to 2-4 at three-quarter time. Is this the day that they break through for their first win?
Matchday MC, you might hear in that effects mic, just pumping up the crowd. St Kilda by 16 points as we turn for home. Looking for their first win of the season, and the Gold Coast Suns are looking to stay in the hunt of finals as Bella goes bang straight out of the ruck. Fists it down to Sermon. He's thrown to the turf. Groves Little. Handballs backwards to Stanton. Yorston spun out of traffic. Gives it back to Groves Little. Has a bounce at forward 50. They kick it to the top of the square where Perkins is waiting in a one-on-one. Ott does really well on the last line of defence to handball to Priest, who exits the danger zone, and one of the players of the match so far, Kat Phillips, marks strongly, kicks down the line looking for Zenos. It spills to Lucas Rod, kicks up to a 2-on-1, favouring the Suns. Spills out the back. Matten gathered beautifully, looks for Shearlaw, but they've coughed it up as Stanton kicks the Suns back into attack. Perkins again almost had the jumper tugged. Umpire says play on. Hampson lays a really strong tackle. Again, the umpire says play on. The players dive on, and finally we've got a stoppage after a hectic minute.
And if it's two people that can get Gold Coast back into this game, it's Tori Groves Little and Kate Sermon. They're electric around goals.
Nice tap from Perkins. There is Sermon on cue, dumped by the Saints skipper Priest. Stanton couldn't pick it up. Tani White does. Kicks it out of bounds on the full. On a warm afternoon, both teams playing their third game in a short space of time. Claudia Whitford loads up. Bohanna couldn't get a run at it, still involved. Gathers, picks up and kicks it. First goal of the last quarter goes to Gold Coast.
Yeah, it was pretty simple footy, really. It's, you know, bring the ball to ground, and then Bohanna, she's really good in the air, but it's at ground level too, and being a left footer, usually the defenders are thinking right, and then you can just get on that left footer. Left footers seem to have a bit more space. But yeah, nice finish.
So first step completed for the Gold Coast Suns. They've got the first goal in this last quarter. They trailed by as much as 24 points at the start of the second quarter. Now they've crawled back to within 10. Might win it out of the middle again. Here's Stanton. Just pops it into the path of Drennan. Nice, well-weighted kick. She wants to wheel and go. Almost ran herself into some trouble. Now the Suns are under pressure. Drennan just dribbles a kick inside forward 50. Whitford, handball looking for Yorston. Has Sermon on the outside. Can't break the tackle and then just drop the footy. Yorston also drops the footy. This time we get her holding the ball.
She's a tackling machine, Hannah Priest.
She is. Yep, she's been holding up really well in the back line today.
She had to stick that tackle. Ball up on the outer side. So they tick the first box, the Gold Coast Suns. They kick the all-important first goal. Back within 10 points. Stanton. An all good ball for Jackie Vott to pick up, who's had a good role to play this afternoon. And Priest darting around, wasn't really sure what to do. Forced to kick hurriedly in the end. Here's Viv Sard. Had her head taken off by Shearlaw. It's a pretty straightforward free kick for the umpire to pick out. 15 disposals off half-back in the draw on Tuesday against the Western Bulldogs, Viv Sard. It's been really solid for them again this afternoon. Sermon went without it on hands and knees. Had Whitford alongside her. Yorston burrowing through. Her handball only as far as Tani White.
Oh, Shearlaw got an ugly bounce. Sard at the back. Hands it to Dunn. Kicks Gold Coast. Whoa, massive fly by Kate McCarthy. It's a free kick going the Suns' way. It falls to the path of Sermon, who has a look at goal, and it misses to the right, but that was a massive fly by Kate McCarthy. I think she hit Groves Little in the back of the head as we just take a look on the replay. And Groves Little is still down behind play in the hands of the trainers. Just copped a knee in the back of the head.
Yeah, it would hurt.
Ow. I suspect we might have to stop play in a minute. This is just a couple of metres away from where Groves Little is. Now they break through. Exxon combines. Run and carry for Guttridge. 2 bounces, gets to 40 metres out. Bombs away long. Xenos is lurking. Was that out of bounds on the full? Boundary umpire says no. So we take a look at Tory Groves Little. And they do not look in a good way right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, they've had a few issues with concussion before, and a knee to the back of the head, that's not good.
Greiser was able to take it out of the ruck uncontested. Quick kick towards goal. Almost worked out okay. Richards couldn't hang on. Rowbottom combines with Drennan.
Kicks out wide looking for Dankert, but the Saints are going to come up with it. Burke in a 1-2 with Molly McDonald, who kicks towards the hot spot. Might favour Bella, but in hot pursuit is White, who did really well, kept her feet, then lost her feet. Greiser picks it up, gets boot to ball, kicks to the corridor, goes through the hands of Sard. Rowbottom out the back. Hands it to Watson, who exits defensive 50 with a long kick. Standing in the way is Friend. Handballs to Guttridge, escapes the Dunn tackle, not the Yorston one, but did cop one high. And just scoots away from the pocket, kicks a long one to Greiser. And I think that has gone over for a minor score.
So we can see just making their way off the ground. Tory Groves Little looks absolutely distraught. Bryony will check in shortly there. Coming out of defence. Ahrens plays the outer side. Drennan jams it on the boot quickly. St Kilda are set up behind the footy though. Ott read it well coming in. And Jacobson kicks back into the corridor, which has been their want all afternoon, St Kilda. Exxon a little unsure with that handball. Sermon gathers. Once more, Beckott back, playing as the extra. Sweeps out wide to Jacobson.
Has Alice Burke in a bit of space. Finds her. So the Saints doing well to hold up under pressure that the Suns have brought in this final term. As they look to switch play, Jacobson marks at true centre half back. Wants to just possess the footy. Kicks out wide to Matten, who has Lucas Rod on the wing.
I mean, this is good patient ball movement from St Kilda. Gold Coast are looking to make it a really frantic game, move the ball quickly. So to take the momentum out of Gold Coast is just slowing down the ball game.
Greiser's got out the back, tackled by Watson. The umpire again lets it go. Phillips is in there. Now Lucas Rod. Kicks into the corridor. Xenos paddles it to Matten. Gets the hands free. Watson's there. Now Keeney. Kick around the corner is intercepted by Shearlaw. So just a blind turn, and probably didn't know that Shearlaw was standing in the hole. As all good smart players do. They know how to read the play.
They do, but it was great pressure, you know, again by a couple of the St Kilda smalls there, just to, you know, put the Gold Coast defender under a lot of pressure.
So Kate Shearlaw has kicked one in the second quarter. This one got good purchase. Through for a minor score, and they're keeping the Suns in it.
That door open. The Suns have 6.5 minutes to kick 2 goals. Serene Watson back into the team today. 6th in last year's best and fairest, has been solid. That kick though, almost chopped off by Kat Phillips. Ahrens to the wing. Perkins was left on her own because Beckott had dropped off and should be the first one back to pick this up. Handball puts McCarthy under some pressure. She thought her way through the situation well. The kick off the side of the boot. Gold Coast are going to get it back. Perkins from just outside 50. Waste no time. Bohanna the target. Couldn't mark. Picks up now outside of the boot. Dribbling, goal! Bohanna's third, and it's back inside single figures.
And that was a result of, yeah, Beck did drop off her opponent, and Perkins kicked it to space. But then the Gold Coast forwards, their smalls just streamed in a wave and put Ott under so much pressure, which resulted in the handball to McCarthy, who then was under pressure again. But again, as I say, with Bohanna, just so good at just bringing the ball to ground and then getting back on it. That second, third efforts that she does so well. Whew, we're in for a contest now.
Absolutely. The Suns are back to within 5 points. They trailed by as much as 24 points in the early stages of the second term. No team in the AFLW competition has come from 24 points down to win a game of footy. So the Suns are pressing here. Can the Saints hold on? Sermon battles for this one at ground level. Is wrapped up by Phillips, who's been one of the Kilda's best this afternoon. Let's quickly get down to ground level. Bryony, what have you got for us?
Thanks. Tori Groves Little, they're being assessed on the bench at the moment, but it's a concussion test, so there's no doubt that they're done for the day.
Yeah, no doubt about that one. Thank you, Bryony. 5 minutes left. Earlier this week, the role was reversed for the Gold Coast Suns. They were the team that led by 23 points and gave up that lead. Today, they're the Hunters. Exxon dealt with after she kicked. That should be downfield. Greiser from centre half forward. Had Zenos short, decided to go with a longer option instead. Awkward bouncing ball. Beskini first there for the Suns, who want to play on quickly. And no one's touched that footy as Lucy Burke escorts it over. A penny for the thoughts of St Kilda coach Nick Del Santo right now. 7 losses from 7 games so far this year. They're in a winnable position. Can they hang on? That'll help their cause. Dupay dispossessed. McDonald had it. She had it taken away from her, though, by Single. It kicks into the corridor and finds Kate Sermon.
Sermon chips out wide to Perkins, who's moved up towards the wing. Oh, she's run herself into some trouble. Nat Axon stopped her in her tracks, and now Molly McDonald's brought to ground. Single goes in there and lays a tackle, and the boundary line beats all.
And one thing that St Kilda would have learnt, or should have learnt, from their loss to Giants is how to slow down the game, hold on to the lead. So that's one thing that they would have been able to review in the week. So they're in this position again. Can they do it?
Some nervous moments for St Kilda. It's been a tough season for them. Still looking for that breakthrough victory. It's a quick kick off the deck. Howarth gets around McCarthy. Crosses forward 50. Has 2 bounces. A third. Is that holding the ball? The umpire says it is. Desperation in defence by Molly McDonald. I think it is out there.
Yeah, just bounce it as Molly had a jumper.
So McDonald kicks out wide, but it's out of bounds on the full, and it's going to come back. Or is it a mark? No, it definitely is. So Rowbottom will have this one just outside forward 50 for Gold Coast. 2.5 minutes to play, and they trail by 5. Rowbottom loads up, kicks to a pack. Bohanna, she's got 3. She's milling around in there. Ball spills out the back. McCarthy swung as she kicked it. Bounces to Vaught, who tries to tap it to a teammate's advantage. Coming through his Single. Gives it off to Rowbottom. Hurried kick along the ground, out of bounds, and we've got a stoppage.
And one player that they'd be dying to get onto the field, Tani White. She's sitting on the bench, the ball's on the opposite side, so they would be struggling to get her on.
That's right in front of us. You can see the inside 50s this last quarter, 11-5. Tani White has been standing on the bench, trying to get back into the game for the best part of 5 minutes. Em is spot on. Free kick out of the ruck, going to Gold Coast.
Perkins.
Sarah Perkins to take it. Distance will not be an issue. Let's take another look.
Hard being a ruck.
To put the Suns in front, a position that they have not been in all afternoon. Perkins pushes it across the face. St Kilda get the ball back with 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining.
So we've just stopped play here for a blood rule. As Bott comes to the ground, as we see the time in front, St Kilda have been in front all afternoon. A minute left on the clock. And they lead it by 4 points. You can feel the tension in the air. Long kick out of defence. Huge pack around this ball. It's going to be a lasso free kick, Alice Burke.
Oh, and that's
kicked it out.
That's the inexperience. You just want that as a stoppage. Can't give the ball back to the oppo.
So Bohanna to the corner. Perkins has got it! Sarah Perkins, as she does so often, stands tall when her side needs her to stand tallest. She's going to line up for a shot almost directly in front to put her side in front for the first time this afternoon. Sarah Perkins. Has missed.
Geez, if it's anyone on the field, I would back Sarah Perkins in 9 times out of 10. She's such a beautiful kick. Just leant back on that one, though.
Unbelievable. Sarah Perkins has missed. Her side trails by 3 points. There's 30 seconds left on the clock.
Still more than enough time. St Kilda have to try and keep their head in this situation and try and get it away from the Gold Coast goals. Stoppage with 18 seconds remaining. Not one, but 2 misses in a row from Sarah Perkins. 55 metres out from the Gold Coast goal. Ball up once more. Row bottom dangerous in this situation for the Suns. Time ticks down. Lucas Rodd was so good at the start of the game. She arrives and bottles it up once more. Clock stops at 5 seconds. St Kilda are on the edge of glory. Kick around the corner from Sermon won't be enough. The Saints break through for their first win of the season. 336 days since they last got to